Hello, I'm Cathy Petersen, a volunteer with the Dayton Area Chamber of Commerce. You are watching Business Connection, a program produced by the Chamber. The Chamber is committed to finding business solutions by collaborating with regional business leaders on key issues. Our topic today is workplace safety, and our guests are Erin Rosiello, with the Southwest Regional Business Development Manager for the Ohio Bureau of Workers' Compensation. Welcome.
Thank you.
And Amanda Byers, Manager of Safety, Health, and Environmental Programming with the Chamber. Thank you both for being here today.
Thanks for having us.
Very important topic, and Amanda, I'll start with you. Can you give our viewers a brief overview of the Chamber's safety program?
Yeah, workplace safety is huge for us as a chamber, and through that we run the Safety Council program. The Safety Council program's been a part of the chamber since 1932, so quite a while now, and currently we have about 250 members that pay annual dues and are attending actively with us at our monthly meetings. Last year, we had our Safety Council members receive a rebate back through the Bureau Workers' Comp program of close to $600,000 for 2013. And it's up a little bit from some prior years, probably because we had a little more activity of members attending and numbers up and stuff, so that's great. We also do some trainings, monthly to sometimes twice a month. We hold a workplace safety training of some sort. The topics rotate through, so they're all different types. And then they average about 180 to 200 attendees per meeting to get that workplace safety training in.
And the Chamber is such a great resource for not only safety, but so many other things. But safety definitely ranks up there with our businesses out there.
Right, definitely. It's, it's one of the most expensive. If you are falling in that safety region, it can be one of the most expensive parts of your business. So we want to make sure that we get them that education that they need to make it beneficial and everything.
That's fantastic. And Erin, at the end of March, the administrator of the Ohio Bureau of Workers' Compensation announced the continuation of the Safety Council rebate program, which allows employers to earn rebates on their workers' compensation premiums for participating in their local safety council and reducing workplace injuries. And either one of you can talk about this. Can you explain what this means to local member companies and safety council participants?
I can go ahead and talk about it a little bit, and then Erin can expand on that a little more on the administrator's side. But the Safety Council offers a program that our members can get up to 4% back on their workers' comp. And they have to do that by attending a certain number of meetings and things throughout the year. And the reason for that is we want them to get in there and do those education trainings, and so it's a bit of a little incentive. It used to be just called the incentive program, but now we've kind of the Bureau's changed it over a little more to rebate, because it does emphasize that they will be getting a rebate back on that. So they can get the first 2% on attending, and then they're eligible for a second 2% based on performance and dropping rates within their company. So it kind of is a two-part push to get them to improve their safety in the area.
Sure.
Anything to add to it, Erin?
No, absolutely. I think Amanda has a good grasp of the program, as she's led it with the Bureau, working with the Bureau and the Chamber for several years. So she's got a beat on it.
Oh, definitely. It is exciting. You know, the Chamber, each month, you touched on this a bit, it offers safety programming through the Safety Council. How many of these programs do participants have to attend to be eligible for the rebate program?
To fulfill the requirements, there are multiple things. So they have to enroll with the Safety Council by the end of July, and that's a hard deadline on the Bureau side. So they have to. That's kind of the starting point. Is start there. The year starts July 1. It runs with the fiscal year with the state. So that sometimes gets a little confusing. So we have to remind people that it runs on a different year than the calendar year. But they have to attend 10 meetings throughout that 12-month period. Now you won't see, just like I said, we do more than one meeting per month. Lots of times we do 2, sometimes 3, just depending on what's currently going on hot topic wise. We also do some trainings for a group rating mandate. So they have to attend 10 throughout the year. They also have to send their CEO to one of those meetings. It can be CEO or most senior available company. You know, we have some companies where their CEO is out of the country and things like that. So we've tried to explain to them a little bit the most senior person available. What that reasoning is want to make sure that position is getting in there and realizing what their employees are doing to get this rebate back. And then also seeing what we're doing as a safety council, what kind of programming we're putting on, and different aspects like that. So that's another one of the requirements that's involved. And then they have to complete a semi-annual report for us. Just twice a year. It's a one-page report. Sometimes people get a little intimidated by it, but it's an easy report if it's just based on some of your reportings out of your OSHA log. So.
Sure, it should be handy, or
Yes.
somewhat handy
yes.
anyway.
It's supposed to be,
Yes.
is what it is. So.
Yes. So, Erin, why is the Safety Council so important to the BWC?
Sure. So, as you may or may not be aware, a small portion of employers' premiums goes toward our Division of Safety and Hygiene. And what we have found is that is one of the most underutilized functions that's offered by the BWC. And over the course of the last 3 years with our current administrator, Stephen Buer, we've seen many examples of how building a workplace culture of wellness and safety really benefits companies, not only in terms of fewer claims, but also in keeping costs low and maintaining a productive workforce. So, clearly preventing accidents helps the workers, but it's also the number one thing that you can do as a business owner to keep your premiums down and to keep your business prospering. So what we have found is Safety Council is sort of our portal into the Division of Safety and Hygiene. It's a way for us to introduce employers to what's available to them. And we love our partnerships that we have with the chambers throughout the state. And we really do like the opportunity to be able to engage with the employers through the Safety Councils. Our administrator feels so strongly about it that he's actually expanded the funding over the course of the last few years by 10%. And he's added, we're, I believe, up to about 83 safety councils now. So lots of opportunity for us to engage with the workers. Amanda had mentioned the amount of rebate here in the Dayton market. Statewide, we had given out over $9.4 million in participating safety council rebates. So
And that was just in 2013.
yeah, it was in 2013, yeah. So great program, and it's a great way to have the employers engage with the Bureau of Workers' Comp to help prevent accidents from happening.
Oh, sure, and have that incentive, a little more interest in it. Erin, a lot of companies have heard that the BWC will be changing to prospective billing. And you and I talked about it a little bit before the program. Why is the transition occurring? What is it exactly?
Okay, so you may remember about a year ago we had the announcement for $1 billion back, and that is where the Bureau gave back 56% of 2011-2012 premiums to employers. We also announced at the time a tripling of safety grant funds. And then the third piece to that was to switch to a modernized version of billing, trying to get with the rest of the insurance industry. And that is where employers would pay for their insurance up front. And it's due to our strong financial position that we're able to do that and get with the industry standard of prospective billing. So that's kind of the why behind it. It also gives our employers greater flexibility in how they can pay for their premiums.
Sure. What does it do to rating plan deadlines and program deadlines? How does that affect?
So this transition will begin July 1st of 2015 for private employers. So it's going to kind of begin the shift at that point in time. And then for public employers, that'll be January 1st of 2016. And, for the average private employer, that's going to be an opportunity for them to get a 6-month credit on their premium. So the report that they would file in August will actually be credited. And then also their first 2 prospective payments after that 6-month payment will be credited as well. So, it's going to kind of change the date at which we pay, and then it's going to cause a shift in our programs. So things like group rating and destination excellence, all the program dates will be shifted slightly.
So what can employers expect? I mean, that the changes sound like they're great, but what can they expect as they're going through the process?
Hopefully not too much. So the idea
Smooth
is
sailing.
That's right. The idea is to make it as seamless as possible in this transition. And I mentioned the billion back. It's really ending up being another $1.2 billion that the Bureau is putting out there in order to make this transition seamless. What they can expect is that they will not have to file twice a year their payroll reports. That'll be a once a year true up. They'll see this credit that will basically translate to about 8 months of no premium payment for private employers. And then they should keep an eye out for communication from the Bureau. We're going to be sending out information about upcoming deadlines, when their estimates are due, and when the true up is necessary. We'll have lots of ways that they can get this information, and one of those being they can go to the BWC .ohio.gov website, and under contact information go to, I believe it's the regionals, and my contact information is there, so if anybody has questions they can feel free to reach out to us, or their TPA, third party administrator that helps with the workers' compensation.
Fantastic.
We're also sending information out, Cathy, over and over to not just our group rating members that are going to be some of those harder deadlines and stuff. And Frank Gates is our third-party administrator at the office, and I know they're always great at pushing all that information and everything out. But we also, as a chamber, will be sending to all of our members to get those deadlines out. I know there's constant newsletters going out with that information. So.
Oh, absolutely. Amanda, if a company wants to take advantage of the Dayton Miami Valley Safety Program, should they get in touch automatically with the chamber, or what should they do?
They can reach out to the chamber and we can make the connection to get them the forms that they are needed. So reaching out either by our website, which is daytonchamber.org, and the information for enrollment is going to be on there under the Safety Council program. And then they can also contact the chamber offices to get the information. They'll get them to me, and then we can get the information emailed to them. We talked earlier about that deadline being hard for that July 31st for that up to 4% back. That's again a hard deadline on the Bureau side, so we have to make sure that we get everyone enrolled. If I get something that comes in August 1st, I can't accept it. And so we try to get that head start. We've already started pushing to the members. We are gonna, we're hosting an informational meeting that'll occur, and other information we send out via email and stuff like that as well. So.
Sure, definitely a wealth of information. What are some of the topics, the monthly topics that employers can take advantage of with the Safety Council?
Right. Well, we, like I said, we break it up into multiple workplace safety seminars. What we do is we have a wide range of different entities that attend our meeting, and so we want to try to relate as much as we can to each of them, but sometimes some stuff gets a little more specific. In June, we always host OSHA in to do a presentation for us. That's always a well-attended one. Everyone can relate to what's going on in OSHA. They give a brief update of that information. It's nice to see that face in, I think, on a positive note versus being on a negative note or something like that. So we always do that. We do some, heat safety stuff that's going on, along with cold safety further on into the colder season. There's just lots of times. We had Erin in May to do some more updating on what's going on with the Bureau and things like that. So you name the topic, we're happy to do it. We do some fire safety trainings and things like that. So, and we're always looking for new topics that companies might be looking for, or even if there's speakers out there that might be interested in presenting, we're always open to looking at that as well.
What are some of the hot topics?
The hot topics, Erin, can you help me out a bit with some of those? I know
What are you
our
seeing
group rating
more
wise,
interest in?
our highest incident is like hand injuries. And those, I think that's a common occurrence even across the state, is any hand injuries that are going on. But some of our hot topic sessions that we do internally are some OSHA training, not specifically from OSHA, but we have some other people come in more on like the reporting side and incident side. We did one a couple months ago that was on drugs in the workplace. Sure. And kind of how to handle that. That was an interesting one. We had the county in to the sheriff's office to talk a little bit about kind of what's going on in the community in regards to that side. But then we also had the other side in to talk about how to handle this stuff within your workplace if you do suspect that that's going on.
Sure.
Are there any other topics, Erin?
That's a pretty huge one, the drugs at work. And then also I've even heard a lot of speakers talking about marijuana in the workplace and the potential in Ohio. So yeah.
You know, you talk about that, Erin, and it kind of brings up a point. We're going to have a speaker in for our annual safety conference this year, which is on October 14th. And our keynote this year is going to be on marijuana in the workplace and the laws and regulations and kind of how to handle that stuff. We're bringing in a highly recognized lawyer from the Dayton area to do a presentation on that, because I know it's an up-and-coming, what do I do if, how do I handle this? Big time information session there to get all that out. So that's October 14th. And the information's on the website, and then as we get closer to the date, more information will come out for that as well.
And what is the website again where they can get information?
Yeah, it's DaytonChamber.org, and they'd want to find the Safety Council tab to find our direct link of all of our programming. You'll also find the information for the rebate program, and then anything else that we do is going to be under that area as well. The conference you're going to find there, what our monthly meetings are, and all of that. So
great. And Erin, let's go back to, how important is it for employers to be engaged in workers' compensation, education? It's so clearly important, whether it's slips, trips, falls.
Oh, absolutely. I just came from the private sector a couple of years ago and have been on the side of the employers working with third-party administrators. And it's not until they have an accident and their premium goes up that they understand how important it is to be engaged with the Bureau. So what we try to do is reach out to as many employers as possible early on and provide education. I have seen amazing things happen when not just the employer, but the employees actually get together and make a group effort and a concerted effort to look at prevention and safety in their workplace. So it can have a huge impact. Financially, it can really affect bottom lines. And I strongly recommend that anybody that's involved in workers' comp, be it a business owner, HR, safety person, learn as much as you can. Ohio's unique, and you have the ability to save a lot of money, and then you also have the ability to spend a lot of money if you're not careful.
What are some of the most popular, I guess, injuries or incidents that happen in the workplace?
So, you've got 10 different types of businesses, anything from manufacturing to office, and it kind of varies based on your risk level and the type of work that you do. But, hands, we do see a lot of hands in manufacturing, soft tissue injuries and backs. I mean, it's a huge range, and what's interesting is that regardless of your type of business, the type of risks that you're exposed to that you don't even know about, accidents that happen in the parking lot, slips on ice. This year there was so much ice and snow. So, just being aware of where the potential risks are and doing what you can to prevent them, and then also having a plan in place for once an accident does happen, that you can respond quickly and efficiently to that.
Oh, absolutely. We've done a lot of training at the county where I'm employed, and when you see the training events, how not to slip or things, you think that's, I'm fine, I'm never going to do that. But what I've noticed lately is everybody's on their phones. They're not paying attention to where they're walking. I had a guy in front of me on the steps on his phone, and I was like, if he goes down, I might go down too. So
accident waiting to happen.
It is. So it is. You just have to pay attention and be prepared, like you said.
Interesting topic, walking and texting. Walking and
Yes,
talking.
yes.
you wouldn't necessarily think that would be a topic that you'd have to present on, but you just never know what topic is going to need to be presented next that's going to come up.
I know.
right.
And things always are changing and evolving, so we're always going to have those obstacles, I guess, in our way. Well, thank you both so very much for joining me today. Erin Rosiello with the Southwest Regional Business Development Manager for the Ohio Bureau of Workers' Compensation, and Amanda Byers, with the Chamber's safety, health, and environmental programming. Appreciate you both coming in to talk about such an important topic, and I'm sure we'll have you back again.
Thank you for having us.
And thank you for tuning in to Business Connection. I'm your host, Cathy Petersen. Stay tuned now for an important message from the Dayton Area Chamber of Commerce.
Our program today highlights several of the important changes to the Bureau of Workers' Compensation program for Ohio employers. For decades, the BWC billed employer premiums retrospectively or after the fact for workers' coverages. As you've heard today, beginning next year in July 2015, the system will change for private employers to a prospective billing system, and in January 2016 for public employers. The Chamber supported these new changes, but only if the BWC was to solve the challenge of double billing. Premiums can be substantial for employers each year, but can be very onerous if employers had to pay for the previous 6 months and again in advance at the same time. We support the Bureau's use of a portion of its reserve funds to credit employers in advance, thus bringing the new billing system into place without cash flow issues that add to the challenges many employers can face. The current BWC administration has done an excellent job in lowering costs for employers, creating abatements, and continuing its safety-conscious education programs. Additionally, they've looked at new ways of working with employers to ease the burden of these premiums. We support these new changes and hope you found today's program informative. More information on these changes can be obtained by calling the local BWC office or the Dayton Area Chamber of Commerce at 226-1444.